It's funny you say that, Paul. Top of A is about what I was thinking myself in the rankings of all the secret projects. I actually have them very tightly grouped, the four of them, with for me Sunlit just kind of edging it at the top. Isles of Emberdark, I think might sneak in second, right, kind of right there with you. I like Yumi a lot. I rate Yumi pretty high. So Yumi and Isles are kind of right there fighting it out, and then Tress is kind of pulling up the rear, but like just barely, just barely kind of below those two. So
welcome back to Following Nodon, a Stormlight podcast. This week, I have regained my seat as podcast actual host. We have completed the Cosmere as it is fully published, with the exception of White Sand. And we have Tim joining us. Paul, how are you?
Yay. I'm great. I have mixed feelings about Trevor being back in the driver's seat. I'm a little nervous that I might get bullied this week, but other than that, feeling good, ready to put a capstone on our experience.
Elliot, how are you?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. I guess I should officially welcome you guys. You've been there already for a little bit too. You're back to full Cosmere current, which is pretty exciting. The full range of theory discussions and crazy questions to Brandon and words of Brandon, which a bunch of people have already been firing me over a few words of Brandon, which I love, by the way, all those super complex questions of what ifs, which is a fun space to be back in.
And Tim, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to join back in. I'm a couple episodes behind from where you guys are. So, Paul, have you opened up the Copper Mind yet? Last I heard, you were too afraid to.
Believe it or not, I have not gotten over my fear yet. I still live in utter fear that I'm going to click on it and it's going to spoil something that's not even yet released. I just will live to. I'm like Piglet, like I just am crippled by fear. That's like my my vice, absolutely crippled by fear. I have not gone to the Copper Mind yet.
Now my brain is rushing through. If you're Piglet, who does that make me and Trevor and Tim? And yeah, we just won't go there.
I feel like I'm got to be Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, you're probably Winnie the Pooh. You're the main character here.
Yeah.
So would I be Christopher Robin, only coming in occasionally?
Yeah.
yeah. There we go. Which probably makes me Tigger, I guess. Oh, man, that dude's annoying.
There's other options.
Everyone.
Checks out.
It's all right. I can take
Rabbit.
Tigger. He was my favorite.
Owl, It's a whole cast.
Okay. We have yet to announce this on the podcast, but we have a couple of itinerary to cover before we get into the content of this episode. We are completed with the Cosmere for now. I am hoping to cover White Sand in and when the full written version comes out, because that was alluded to like 2 years ago that was coming, and as far as I know, we haven't had any word on it. That is going to be planned to be covered on the podcast at some point. However, in the meantime, over the next several weeks, probably like 4 or 5 episodes, including this one, so 3 or 4, we are going to be doing some wrap-up content, and then we're going to take a break. As the podcast, we're going to take a moderate break. It's probably somewhere in the ballpark of 2 to 3 months. Don't take my exact word for that, but we're going to be taking a moderate break, and then we'll be coming back over the summer with some new content. We haven't fully decided on what that will be, and then we do plan on covering Fires of December when it comes out in December. So that is the short and medium term schedule for the podcast. Today, we are going to be doing a moderate wrap-up of Isles of Emberdark and Wind and Truth with Tim. And then we are going to be doing a game that I have not told my podcast hosts what it is. And we're going to be inviting Paul's wife, Alex, to come in for the second section of this episode. So, without further ado, we need to update our tier list that we did probably a year and a half ago now.
Mhm.
And for anyone who didn't catch that episode, I'm actually going to throw it to Paul. Can you cover briefly what is in our tier list? I will pull it up for you so you don't have to do it from memory. But where is hold technical difficulties? There you go. All right, Paul, cover our tier list and how we've done it.
All right. To briefly, if you're just listening, just to give you a picture, the tier list goes from S tier at the top down to, I believe, D tier. There's no tiers in between the letters except for that we do have an A plus tier. So for those
So-
between A and S.
Go ahead and cover the whole thing. And then I actually want to discuss if we still agree with ourselves from a year and a half ago before
Yeah.
we add the other ones.
We will see that. As it stood from whenever we made it before, at the top at S tier, we had The Way of Kings, Oathbringer, and Rhythm of War. And then in the A plus tier, we had Words of Radiance, Sunlit Man, and Elantris. At A tier, we had Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, The Lost Metal from Mistborn Era 2, Emperor's Soul, Six of the Dusk, The Hero of Ages, and The Alloy of Law. And then in B tier, we have Tress, Dawn Shard, Warbreaker, Shadows of Self, Mistborn, the Final Empire, the first book, Alamancer Jack, I believe that is,
Yes, it is.
and The Bands of Mourning. C tier, getting close to the bottom, we have Shadows of Silence and the Forest of Hell, Mistborn: A Secret History, The 11th Metal, and Edge Dancer. And then lastly, in D tier, we have The Hope of Elantris and The Well of Ascension. Only thing not listed on there was White Sands, which we put TBD because we haven't done the White Sands graphic novel.
All right. Elliot, do you agree with us from a year and a half ago? Is there anything on
Well-
this list that you hate where it is?
Loaded question, because if you do go back and watch that episode where we did this, we had some pretty healthy debate over some of our personal preferences here.
The two main debate topics in our previous episode were the Hero of Ages and Tress. The Hero of Ages and Tress got placed where they were after much deliberation. So, yeah.
I remember this. If I can steal it? And personally, reading through this list, I do not love it, but I think I was usually on a differing side than y'all. I think the Hero of Ages should absolutely be A plus tier.
You
But
rated
I'm
it S back in the day.
Yeah,
don't know if you
I
remember
think
that.
I think it's worth. I think it's one of the best books he's written. Absolutely. I would reasonably, to also take everyone's opinions into account, I would reasonably swap Sunlit Man with the Hero of Ages, but I know that was everyone else loves
So
Sunlit Man.
Your feelings are still the same. I listened to this episode back,
Yes.
and your
Yes,
your
my
feelings are the same. You think Sunlit Man is too high and Hero of Ages is too low.
Yes. I also
Elliot,
think the Alloy of Law is too high.
do you still agree with us?
In general, yeah, everything is pretty close to where I have it, or maybe like one off. I don't think any of them are two off of where I have them. Probably the standout things that jump up to me. I'm a big fan of Emperor's Soul. Like, I almost want to fight for it to go in S tier, but I can't quite make a case for it to go up against the big giant epics that are Way of Kings and others. But it's definitely an A plus for me on Emperor's Soul. And then what else? Yeah, some of the Mistborn stuff we definitely differ on. I only have one of all the Mistborn books making it out of the B tier, and that's Lost Metal at A. Everything else is B or below
Wow.
for me in Mistborn. But that's hence the big argument about Hero of Ages and all of that stuff. But overall, in general, this is not terrible for me.
All right. Before we get on to adding Isles of Emberdark and Wind and Truth, Tim, looking at this list, how do we do?
The trend is okay, but can you please tell me why Alamancer Jack is B tier and Secret History,
Uh,
and Hope of Elantris are below there.
you're gonna
Yeah,
make
you
me
better talk to
fight
Trevor
for,
about
you're,
this.
yeah, you're gonna make me fight for Alamander Jack again.
Like, okay, I do have something prepared here. It's yeah, okay. Hope of Elantris. Is Estelle nothing to you? Is Estelle
Yes.
nothing? No, it's Alamancir Jack. It's interesting, but the best characters in Alamancir Jack are his sidekick,
Yeah,
not Alamancir Jack.
I completely agree with you.
It's like
It's funny.
okay, this is interesting.
No,
I
you
thought it would
read
be
it.
dumb, and
It's
it's
not.
okay.
No. I completely disagree with you. It's not interesting at all. You read it and you're like, that was funny. I laughed out loud when I read this. I'm like, I couldn't tell you the last time Brandon's, or I could probably count on one hand the amount of times that Brandon has made me laugh out loud, and 2 of them are in Alamancir Jack.
Hard man to laugh. A hard man to laugh. No, I see what you're saying, but yeah, I just think Secret History. Maybe part of it is like I was reading it soon after it came out. There's mystery being opened up. It was just really fascinating to read and to learn more, and it got me really excited. And so to see it that low, oh, hurts a little bit. Um, Other than that, let me see. Let me see. What do I have? Well of Ascension being
Yeah,
D tier.
we
It's been a while since I've read it, but I think it deserves at least a C tier.
Isn't this one of the ones we were
go ahead,
oddly
Paul.
most? Sorry, isn't this one of the ones we were oddly most in agreement on?
Yes, all 3 of us put it in D tier actually.
We ran not randomly, but like there were many we disagreed on where they should go high or low. But this one we were like, yeah, if I'm putting one down there, I think it's that one.
So
Like, if you
let
have
me
to
put it
choose
to
one,
right. Let me put it to you this way: there has to be a D tier. There has to be one, and it is inarguably the worst Cosmere novel.
And I have a hard time explaining why, but when we read that, it was very clear to me that that book was different, and I can't really tell you why. I got halfway through that book and I got bored. I've never been bored in any of Brandon's writings in any of these books except for Well of Ascension. And I don't know why. Just something about it didn't click. Something it didn't click.
I think I can briefly say why. I think so much of that book hinged on a mystery. Who's the imposter? And frankly, it wasn't the most exciting storyline and the best like mystery, I guess. It was not bad, but it definitely is not good from a reread. Like it's definitely not exciting from a reread perspective, and I think that was one of the reasons we hit it pretty hard.
I'll take that. I'll take that. Yeah, Hope of Elantris, I definitely would put above the D tier. I don't know if it deserves it, but it's just got a little place in my heart knowing the story behind it. Like, oh,
Sure.
yeah, that's cute. That's cute. Other than that, Rhythm of War, the first time I read it, I really didn't enjoy it that much. Maybe, and still like a B or an A. But after a reread, I liked it a lot better. It'd probably be like an A or an A plus for me. Um, that's that's about it. Other than to me, again, because I always read them back to back, The Way of Kings and Words of Radiance, it just feels like an extension. They're just one big book.
Sure.
So to separate them just feels slightly wrong.
What's your favorite Seeker project
Oh,
besides Isles? We'll get to Isles.
yeah, besides Isles, probably excitement and interest, Sunlit Man, for being cute and different. Tress. Yumi's good and I enjoyed it, but it didn't stand out as much as the other two to me. I did like the non Cosmere one, but it's definitely not as good.
Gotcha. Okay, gentlemen. Any closing thoughts before we add 2 other books to this?
I was gonna say all I remember is how well Elliot sold Rhythm of War as S
Yes.
tier to us.
Elliot,
He genuinely
I
genuinely
did.
convinced me. Like he was
yes.
like, "Wow, okay, when you put it that way, I do think it genuinely is S tier." So I just am thinking back to that.
I will get back to my thoughts on Rhythm of War as we rank Wind and Truth. Are we ready to rank Wind? Are we ready to rank Wind and Truth?
Let's do it.
Okay, Paul, where would you put it?
Wind and Truth.
Wind and Truth.
Wind and Truth, I have gone back and forth on quite a bit. I genuinely think it should go in either the A tier or A plus tier. I don't. It's not S tier with the original 3 that we had up there. But I do think it is a really good book, and I'm such a sucker for Stormlight. But that's where I would have it.
I'll go next and be contrarian. On retrospect, it's been several months since we've put down Wind and Truth. It is undoubtedly the weakest Stormlight novel. I think that is pretty easy to say. I don't think it's bad, but it compared to the other 4, I think it is clearly the weakest. I personally would put it in B tier and push Tress back up to A tier. Is where I would, if I was in control of this solely, is what I would do with Wind and Truth.
Well,
I feel like that's
depending on-
actually quite reasonable.
Depending on where Tim is going to land with his thoughts, then I might average this out with a fairly obvious final answer here. I think for me, Wind and Truth sits pretty firmly in A tier. I agree pretty much with all of your thoughts, Trevor, the way you said them, with just maybe a slightly more positive spin on it. I do think it is a notch below the other Stormlight books for all the reasons we discussed ad nauseum in our wrap up episodes for that book. But I don't have as negative a reaction as some people I have seen out there. And I honestly don't know like what the overall average take on Wind and Truth is, if it's overall positive, overall negative. I've seen a lot of very vocal negative people out there, and I don't fall in that camp. I think it's still a very strong novel. I think there was a lot of really good stuff in there. There were some really satisfying moments in that book where Brandon did his thing and cashed out on some pretty big payoff. I do think there was a few misses in that book, but like A tier for me is firmly where it sits.
And so it comes to me. I didn't really like Wind and Truth very much the first time through. It felt off and stilted, and characters didn't go the way I thought they were gonna go, and that's normal for that specifically to happen. But normally it goes in a different way, and it's really cool. This time it went in a different way, and it just fell flat. But going back and doing skimming most of the book, doing the chapter splits for you guys, I really got into reading it again at the Sanderlanche, and I read every page in one sitting from there to the end. So the Sanderlanche still hits really hard. It was a huge payoff, and I loved it, and it worked much better knowing what was going to come. I enjoyed it much more because I wasn't having whatever expectations that I brought to it initially. I'm between B and A. I think it's better than some of the Bs, but not than all of them. So I'm going to stick with B.
All right, let me put it this way. I'll go down the list here. Yes or no answer. Do you think it's better than Tress, Paul?
You had to come to me first.
Yep.
This is what I've been sitting here debating the entire time ever since you mentioned, put it in B and bump Tress up to A. Okay, I'm looking at I can say more definitively about the other books in B tier. I know you're asking about Tress, but that's the hardest one for me to answer.
That's where I think it lands right about there.
Okay, yeah, I would certainly read Wind and Truth before I would read any of the other books in B tier. Dawn Shard,
Okay.
Warbreaker, Shadows of Self, Mistborn, etc. But I think it's almost like a tie. I think what I would actually sit down and read at the end of the day first would be Wind and Truth, but
Okay.
I feel like that's carrying off of the strong bias towards the whole of like Roshar and the Stormlight Archive.
Yeah.
As far as yeah, I feel like it's maybe a dead tie. I think I would pick up and read Wind and Truth maybe before Tress. But I mean, truthfully, I could pick up either. Like they're pretty dead tied for me. It really. Maybe y'all might have to actually make the decision. I can see it fully either way. Um, I don't want to be a cop out. I
I,
definitely am not afraid to voice my strong opinions when they're there, but it's really that close for me.
I would put Tress above Wind and Truth. Not that Wind and Truth doesn't have its moments; it certainly does. But I think Tress is better. So that's about where I would put it. Elliot?
I would put Wind and Truth above Tress just slightly. I was going back and looking at my book ratings that we did, and I actually
Yeah.
rated Wind and Truth only 1 point higher than Tress in the overall. But that's that's speaking probably to my bias more in the more long form style of the writing and the nuances of character development that you can get into in a 1400 page fifth book in a series. It just makes
Sure.
Tress doesn't stand up or compare to that in any way because it's different. It's a standalone, it's
Right.
much smaller, and it doesn't hit me nearly in the way that some of the character parts of Wind and Truth do. And is Wind and Truth more flawed than Tress? Like maybe arguably yes, but it still carries so much more character and plot and setting and world building weight than Tress does. And so it yeah, maybe that's a biased way to think about this, but for me, it's definitely a notch above Tress for me.
All right, Paul. Not Paul. Tim. We have one above Tress, one below Tress, and one fence rider who refuses to make a decision. You get to tiebreak.
Excellent. Elliot brought up some good points. Even on a reread, I cried multiple times in the Sanderlanche of Wind and Truth. Um, and so it just kind of comes to with Tress, I enjoyed the whole book. With Wind and Truth, it hit really hard in some really key and really awesome moments, but definitely had some mixed feelings with it.
Sure.
Um, Definitely a difficult one. I think I fall with Elliot on that. Of just it's carried by the weight of the series, as well as having some really good parts within it. I think I'll have to say it's just tiny bit better than Tress because of that.
Any closing thoughts on Wind and Truth before we move on?
I think it's good. I like where it is. Looking at the list now, I do feel like it'd only be fair to put the Hero of Ages in A plus tier because I'm definitely grabbing that book before Wind and Truth by far.
There you go. All right. So this list I have doesn't have Isles of Emberdark on it, so we're going to re-rank Six of the Dusk. Paul, where would you put Isles of Emberdark?
I really think that Isles of the Emberdark is a strong either A plus or top of A.
Okay. Elliot.
It's funny you say that, Paul. Top of A is about what I was thinking myself in the rankings of all the secret projects. I actually have them very tightly grouped, the four of them, with for me, Sunlit just kind of edging it at the top. Isles of Emberdark, I think might sneak in second, right, kind of right there with you. I like Yumi a lot. I rate Yumi pretty high. So Yumi and Isles are kind of right there fighting it out, and then Tress is kind of pulling up the rear, but like just barely, just barely kind of below those two. So I too actually rate it pretty highly. A tier feels about right for me.
I would echo everything Elliot just said, so I won't say it again. Tim.
For me, Isles of the Emberdark is slightly higher than the Sunlit Man, but I don't think it deserves to be quite up there in A plus.
Okay.
So so wait, does that put it top of all your secret projects then?
I guess it does. Yeah.
Ah,
So
interesting.
you wouldn't rate any secret project above A?
Um, that it's just the struggle of like putting it above the Alloy of Law. It feels like a very similar kind of book to the Secret Projects, taken as a standalone.
Yes, Paul, you're itching to say something.
I'm dying here. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead,
Oh
Paul.
my gosh. I'm sorry. I am obviously this is our list, and this is not my list, right? This is our list. But like personally, it pains me a bit. I think that most of the secret projects are better than the Alloy of Law, but I do think that's a great comparison because that's the only other like main series book we get that's kind of its own thing in a way. Maybe you could make that argument for the Final
Elantris.
Empire and Elantris. Yeah, sorry, there's Elantris and Warbreaker, right? But like those ones in a series, I guess. Um, I I think the Sunlit Man is a little high, but I think there's a case for multiple secret projects in A plus. I don't think any of them are S. But I think Yumi and Isles of the Emberdark could very well be A plus. That's why they're at the very top of A. So I don't need to harp on it, but
All right.
they're,
Does
they're
that make you feel any better?
yes.
It hasn't moved. Let's be clear. It hasn't actually moved in the tier list, but does that make
But
you feel better?
yes, that looks better. Yeah,
Okay. Any closing thoughts on our tier list, gentlemen?
crushed that. Got it moved up. Let's go.
The only closing thought I'll throw out there is looking back at this, Trevor, when you put this on the agenda and me pulling stuff up and refreshing myself on like what I rated stuff along, or not that long ago that we did this tier list, but it's been a long time now since we've read some of these, and it made me really think I do owe a few of these books a reread, and I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I'm mainly thinking of like Warbreaker and Elantris
Yep.
and maybe even Mistborn. Like before another year or two goes by, I probably need to go back and revisit Mistborn because I share a lot of hot takes on it. Like, like I just said earlier about everything in Mistborn is B tier or lower. I, I need to make sure that I can back that up. Now that I've read the rest of the Cosmere, going back and reading those Mistborn books to compare them against, a larger library now of Brandon, that I think I owe some of these books a revisit.
All right. For those just listening, we put Wind and Truth at the bottom of A tier and Isles of Emberdark at the bottom of A plus, which closes out our tier list. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be coming back with the second portion of this episode. All right. Welcome back from our short hiatus. There may or may not have been an ad roll there if I could figure out how to do that. We welcome Alex to the podcast. Alex, how are you?
I'm doing really good. Right now, it's that big freeze, and I'm in Texas for a reason, and I am so cold and miserable. And Paul has been loving it, and I have lovingly gone on walks with him, and I'm still thawing from it. But other than that, I'm really good.
You took your wife out walking in the snow?
Mm-hmm.
By walks, it's literally all just ice. So we
Mhm.
literally were skating on the street, like just with shoes. Like it was so slick. It's so
And
slippery slick that you can literally it's like literally like skating. You can glide across without picking your feet up. But
and
yeah, it's sort of
Alex,
snow.
that wasn't fun and romantic, like with your husband go skating on
It
the
was.
sidewalk?
It was and it wasn't, in the sense that it was fun because we were skating. I made him pull me. I kept saying mush, mush, and he would just pull me across the
Yeah, see?
ice. And so that was fun. But then, I was freezing. We both fell at one point. And did I mention it's freezing? And us Texans, well, let me actually not say us Texans. I am personally a wimp when it comes to the cold. I am the biggest wimp about the cold that you'll probably find. So it was fun.
It was so fun. It was genuinely a riot. It was so fun. Absolutely loved it. I just got to go lay down on the ice and just enjoy feeling cold one day a year in Texas.
Sounds like you're in the doghouse. I'm a little jealous. We were supposed to have that, but it just rained and there was no ice.
Mm.
We got all the rain and then it just froze. So just ice. Tiny bit of snow.
All right. Without further ado, the game I have teased. I present to you a single elimination Cosmere bracket 1v1 character versus character. We will have to vote. We have 5 people here. It is going to be the majority rules. The winner moves on.
This is going to be good. I'm excited.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm all about me some March Madness. I'm in.
Oh dear.
What do you mean, oh dear, Tim? Come on.
Oh boy.
Now, hold on though. Before we get into this, Trevor, you're probably
plenty of
already
preferences.
prepared.
There are plenty of
I'm-
preferences. Yes.
I'm going to ask you for those preferences
Uh-huh.
or preferences.
prefaces.
Prefaces.
Okay.
What are we voting on here?
Great question. Here are the rules. You can vote however you would like. It is your vote. You can vote how much you like the character, how much you would like to go to coffee with the character, how much you despise the character. I don't care. I would like you to tell us how you're voting on each vote. You can change it, whatever. It's your vote. You can vote for whoever. Second thing, this is completely randomly seeded. There is no precursor seed to this bracket. So I know what's coming. And there are some first round matchups that hose a couple characters. But it is not my fault. I completely randomly did this. Those are the 2 prefaces.
Let's do it.
I'll go ahead and come out and say I'm voting on who's ever winning in a 1v1 fight.
I knew you were.
Okay, so all right,
Regardless.
so Paul's going to go for the power dynamic. Okay,
I'm kicking all the wimps out of this bracket.
all right. Okay, without further ado, let's start it.
Okay.
I will hold on. Whoop. Okay, so without doing spoilers, okay. The first matchup is Moash versus Zysis.
Oh no. Oh dear.
Oh man, I feel like we're on the spot right off the bat.
Any deliberation, ladies and gentlemen?
Zysis, Moash is trash. I hate him.
1 vote for Zysis.
That's easy for me.
I'm also voting for Zysis, but based off of my prior criteria I mentioned.
2 votes for Zysis.
Oh.
Tim.
Out of who would eat the least number of humans, I think I'll choose Zysis.
Okay, 3. Elliot?
Well, I don't know if my vote matters at this point. I'm hesitant to maybe slightly go Moash just because there's so much more character development and depth there and things to talk about, but I just can't go anything in the direction of Moash. No, he needs to go out first round. I'm sorry. It just has to happen. It doesn't matter who's on the other side of that bracket.
Hold on. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so we have 3 votes for Zysis. I would have voted Moash simply because of his page time versus Zysis. That there's so much more to Moash. But yes, it doesn't matter as Paul's pointing out. And Zysis moves on. Without further ado, our next matchup is Galadon versus Renarin.
Oh.
For anyone who doesn't remember, Galadon is Raoden's buddy in Elantris.
I'll go first here. Galadon is actually a pretty great character. I enjoy a lot of his segments in Elantris, but oh man, Renarin has some really epic moments like where he faces down a thunderclass by himself when he runs into the ring to save his brother. Like, yeah, this is Renarin all day long for me.
Renarin.
I think I'm also going Renarin. As far as the fight goes between these two, I don't know exactly, but Renarin is a Knight Radiant, so that's the side I'm leaning towards.
Galadon's a world hopper, though, by the time we are done with him. So who knows what kind of power he's got.
True.
That is true. That's true. I don't really have a good scale of him in combat.
Alex?
I'm gonna be completely inconsistent on again how I'm judging all of this. I'm
Sure.
picking Renarin because I loved the stained glass window scene.
Yeah.
I just think that's incredible. So Renarin.
Tim?
I love Galadon, but how can you not choose Renarin?
It's true.
Oh, we get to go against
All right, our third matchup. Kaladin
Oh,
versus Tensoon.
I'm gonna take some time to think. You'll talk.
Oh, I don't need time to think, and I'm going to be
This is-
incredibly controversial. I'm going Tensoon.
Wow, no way.
Whoa!
No, okay. Obviously, I'm Kaladin. I assumed this was the easiest first round buy for Kaladin I've ever seen.
I love Tensoon. I
No
thought he was
way.
awesome.
There's no way Kaladin drops this.
I know I'm the minority here, but I'm still sticking with Tensoon.
No, you're just in the presence of the biggest
Yeah.
Kaladin fan that I know.
I want to support you with Tensoon. I love him, but I do need to stick with eating the least number of humans. That would be Kaladin.
That's
True.
actually
That was a good point.
Tensoon could have been a dark horse in this tournament. I do think Tensoon would beat out a few characters that might surprise a few, but he drew the one seed, like the top
Yes.
overall one seed in this entire thing. It's Calvin.
You got Notre Dame in the first round, and you just lose.
Yeah, I think I would also vote Kaladin on the combat front as well. So
Okay. All right. Next up is Eshonai versus Steris.
I'm going Steris, and not from a honestly. Esh and I could absolutely beat Steris in a fight, but Steris is my queen. I love her.
I'm also going Steris.
I have to think about this one.
I don't.
Tim, what are you? Do you have your thoughts on this one? Who are you
I-
voting for?
I do have my thoughts. I gotta go with Steris. She really comes around, and she is just a character that sticks out so well from Era 2 that I had a hard time reading Era 2 the first time, but I really liked Steris from where she really stepped in and took hold of her character.
I canonically would. I think I'd have to vote Eshonai here. I think, right?
If you're
Eshonai's probably winning
sticking
this
with the
fight.
power struggle bit, yes.
Yeah, but Steris is Alex's favorite character in the Cosmere, I think, and so I was willing to lay down that. But now that she's safely through, I vote Eshonai
Yeah.
to uphold my integrity.
Got it. All right, next. Navani versus Lightsong.
I think he misspelled Shalon there, but for me, it is
I
definitely.
thought about putting a Lightsong Shalon joke, but I didn't. I should have.
Could have intentionally matched them against each other, and just moved them both along.
I thought about putting like
I'll,
Shalon's picture next to Lightsong instead of Lightsong's picture, but I didn't.
I'll get mine out of the way because it's probably obvious. I'm a big Navani apologist. I think
Yeah.
she is awesome and highly underrated amongst kind of main characters in Stormlight. And Lightsong's cool. Don't get me wrong. Lightsong is pretty cool, but this one's Navani for me.
Navani for me as well.
I don't remember enough about Lightsong's potential ability, so I think I'd go Navani. I think Navani wins that fight, maybe.
For epicness, definitely Navani. For laughs, Light Song, 100%.
Sure.
Is it?
Yeah.
Not to get too bogged down in this because we definitely don't have time. Isn't Light Song like ridiculously invested?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like way more than your run of the mill investiture user? I don't know how he would do in battle.
Yeah, I have no idea.
He'd like drink wine and fall asleep in battle.
But like you
And-
can't kill him.
It's all tied up in. No, you can. It's all tied up in one breath. And so that he can't really do anything with it other than
Yeah,
like
maybe.
because he didn't learn in it, you know?
True.
Like-
Anyway, that's a debate for another day. Move on.
Alex.
Oh yeah, definitely Navani. I love her.
All right, moving on. We have Taravangian versus Raoden. I think this is going to be a brutal one for Paul.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go first. Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna say Rayoden. I hate Taravangian so much.
Okay,
so
obviously,
much.
obviously, I hate Taravangian too, but he's really well written. Like,
I respect that. Still hate the guy.
sure, like no, I would vote for Taravangian the same way I would vote for Moash. Like, I want him to see, I want to see him go far in this tournament. But Raoden, I don't think I can vote against Raoden.
No, absolutely. He's awesome. I'm surprised you're. I mean, I do understand.
Yeah, Raiden is literally a shining light.
Literally.
True.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll go ahead and voice that I have to say Taravangian here. Taravangian would win in a fight, I believe.
Yes.
At
So-
this point.
I'm tempted to vote Taravangian for the reasons you were getting into, Trevor. I think Taravangian is a very well written villain, a fascinating character. There's so many interesting discussions that come up around Taravangian. Moash, I will spite vote out of this tournament, no question.
Sure.
Taravangian, I don't quite carry that much of a grudge against that dude, but Raoden's kind of, I don't know, Raoden's pretty cool. There's something unique and just so hopeful and inspiring about Raoden that I loved Elantris because of him. So I
Right,
think I want to
right.
vote for Raoden here.
Raoden does carry his book
Yeah.
single-handedly. So,
He does.
all right.
Sereni's also cool, but
We have Zeth versus Cultivation.
Easy.
I feel like this is an easy one.
Now, to be clear here, this is only easy after reading Wind and Truth. It's Zeth all day long. But if you'd asked me this at the end of Rhythm of War, I'd probably very much think about this.
Is anyone going to argue for Cultivation here?
I'll
wins in
give
a
vote
fight?
for cultivation.
Who wins in a fight? Cultivation.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Are you about to vote against Zeth?
That's why I physically like revolted whenever you uncovered Cultivation's name afterward, because I don't want to vote against Zeth, but I think I think I'd have to vote Cultivation for that reason.
Okay.
I'm gonna end up pushing all the shards through. I didn't realize that,
T-
but
Technically, we're 2-1 in favor of Zeth. Alex.
Zeth.
Okay. Tim.
Cultivation.
Wow.
when he slides
That-
through, thank you, Tim.
Close.
A
Thank
close
you, everybody.
a close first round for Zeth. I assumed that would be a lot more single or one sided. Next, we have Lopin versus Demu. Oh man. Oh man. This has got to be one of the easiest first rounds for Demu. That's a plus. I'm voting Demu, obviously.
Whoever wins here is definitely losing next round.
No, we don't need to talk about next round.
Neither of these guys are beating Zeth. So, what do you think?
I'll vote
I'm
Demu.
I'm voting Demu. I don't know who wins in a fight. It's fairly close, maybe, but I'm voting Demu as well.
I'll do Lopin.
Okay.
I think I might sway Lopin here too, because Demu has like 4 lines in the entire 25 book series. So Lopin's obnoxious, but he's a fun obnoxious, so I'll vote Lopin.
2-2. Tim,
Demu.
let's go. Okay, we don't need to worry about next round. We have Shalon versus Vivenna.
If
This
there's
was-
anyone that you should have manually, you should have done Shalon versus Light Song. I'm just
Right. Yes, I should. This was one of the first rounds. I was like, that's tough. That's tough for Vivenna. I'm voting Shalon.
I am also voting Shalon.
You know, remarkably, I think they had very similar. I had a very similar feeling when reading both parts of their stories of just being frustrated a little,
Understandable.
and then kind of coming around. I have to vote Shalon because there's just so much there.
Yeah. Paul and Alex.
I'm gonna vote for Vivenna.
And I'm also going to vote for Vivenna.
Paul, are you under
Really?
duress over there? Are you voting for Vivenna, like hoping that you sleep well at night tonight or something?
No, not at all. I
okay.
am
Blink,
completely. No, I'm
Blink
kidding.
twice if you need assistance.
Yeah. No, I'm joking. No, I genuinely think Vivenna is awesome.
Sure.
Mm.
Shalon moves on.
Yeah.
We have Venli versus Nikaro.
It's pronounced Nicaro.
It's actually Nikaro.
Oh, okay, never mind.
This one's
I'm
interesting.
voting Nikoro.
I'm also voting Nikaro.
I'm Venli.
Okay.
Paul, I'm going to make you go first.
Yeah, I think I'm also voting for Nicaro.
I would be Nikoro as well. Venli is like almost cool. but
I
not
agree. Completely agree
quite.
with that. Venli
Yeah.
is almost cool.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Rock versus Marsh. Ooh.
Okay, Marsh is cool, but in like a weird, creepy, I don't want to have anything to do with that dude kind of way. So
Sure.
I think for me, it's Rock.
For the exact same reasons, I'm also saying Rock.
For my priorly stated reasons, I think I pick Marsh.
I don't think Rock lasts even a second against Marsh.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that it sounded more hesitant. I think Marsh wins this one for sure.
Tim?
It feels like a deep betrayal, but I think I'm going Marsh. I love
Oh.
Rock, but Marsh is just really cool and
Wow.
fascinating.
Man, I didn't think I'd actually have to choose this. You know what?
Oh, no.
To the surprise of everyone, I think I'm going Marsh.
Upset.
Yeah.
It's Trevor's just
Mar-
wanting clicks. He's wanting views.
No. Marsh has a special place in my heart. Seriously. Like the poor man is abused and he still does the right decision when it comes down to it. Like Marsh is the unsung hero of Mistborn Era 1.
Tim said it. He's fascinating. No question
Yeah.
about that.
Old Iron Eyes, and then just like across the series, and then across the Cosmere, seeing the way he comes to life, it's incredible.
All right. Next we have Yasna versus Raboniel. Surely this is the easiest first round for Yasna ever.
Yeah, I agree. I'll go ahead and say Yasna.
I'm gonna say Yasna with the caveat of I do think that Raboniel's really, really cool. And I like how she's written and I liked her scenes a lot, but I would rather hang out with Yasna.
I kind of like just echo what Alex says there. I'm very fascinated by Raboniel, but I think Yasna's way more deep and interesting.
Yeah, Yasna's the good Ruboniel.
I'll have to think about that later. All right, next we have Maya versus Shy.
Oh, shy by a long shot.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna echo Shy as well.
Same.
It's a hard one because Maya, we chose is just so intense.
Sure.
I'll go Shy as well.
Tough first round for Maya. I'll say that. Maya could have gone places in this tournament, but unfortunate. Adolin versus Captain Crow.
Adolin.
I mean, moving on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
move on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next we
Adolin's well
have
done.
Dalinar
Let's go.
versus Telson.
Who? I'm
Looks
joking.
like
I'm joking. I remember who
Looks like a
Telson is.
freebie to me.
For anyone who doesn't remember, it's Wax's sister. Okay, moving on.
Good job,
Yeah.
Dalinar.
Yeah. Big boy
Congratulations.
Dal. Let's go.
Some good
I
first round buys
actually-
for the Kalins. Okay.
I actually did forget who Telson was.
Raze, the original holder of Odium, versus
OG.
Kelsier.
Mm.
Kelsier. Straight.
Raze. I'm a
Crazy,
Kelsier hater.
crazy
Just-
Trevor.
we could do an underdog Raze if Paul goes for his power dynamic thing.
I'm
Okay.
wondering about that. At what point in time is this raise?
Sure.
For complicated reasons, I'm gonna do Kelsier.
Ah,
Also,
I was depending on you there,
Dalinar's gonna
Paul.
Create a bigger round. I think I know who's winning that, but that's a bigger headline than Ray's Dalinar.
I'm gonna say Kelsier too, but I also don't like him. But I like him like a teensiest bit more than Ray's.
I kind of want to vote against Kelsier, but I can't think of one single reason to vote for Raze in any aspect.
That's where
He's
I
cool.
was.
No.
Mm,
He's
He's
cooler than
too stuck-
Kelsier.
He's too stuck in his ways by that point.
Yeah.
Trevor's
So is
coping right now.
Kelsier. All right. Anyway, that concludes that half the bracket.
Good
Next,
work, everyone.
we have Pattern versus Elend.
Ooh.
Mm.
This is an easy Elend for me.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
same.
say I love Elland, and I think he could pull it off.
yeah.
I think Pattern is better than Ellen.
I like both for very different reasons. Ellen is one of my more likable characters in Mistborn for me, but I don't know. Pattern's kind of fun and just so iconic. I feel like Pattern's one of
Sure.
the more iconic characters coming out of Stormlight and the Cosmere. Oh, man, I'm gonna vote.
This is the Luke Skywalker versus C-3PO vote.
yeah, that was a
I'm-
really good comparison. Yeah.
I'm
Do
gonna
you
vote
like
Pattern.
the companion or do you like the hero?
I'm gonna go against the flow a little bit and vote Pattern. I think.
So Ellen wins 3-2, correct? Yeah, okay. Okay. Next, we have Shalash versus Marisi. This is a pretty easy Marisi for me.
Yeah, same.
Shalash, but only because I want to know more of the story of the Heralds.
I think this is also for me Shalash. On both fronts. I think I
What?
would maybe choose Shalash, and I think Shalash would win in the fight.
Wow.
I mean, okay, Shalash was obviously winning a fight, but
So hang on a second. Are we 2-2
we're
now?
2-2 to
with
Alex.
Alex? Oh my.
Woo! Yay! I am my favorite series of all of the Cosmere is Mistborn Era 2, so I've got to say Marisi.
That was almost the biggest upset yet by a ways.
That was almost the biggest upset.
Almost.
There was no way Shalash should have had ground there. All right. Next we have Sigzil versus Sereni. I saw this draw and I was like, man, that's a rough one.
Yeah, like neither of these characters are making it to the finals, but they're
Whoa,
both characters
whoa.
that could have great runs, you know? Like not the finals, like not the final showdown, but both like are, you know, top 8, top 4 contenders in my mind.
My-
I for the reasons I mentioned previously, I'm voting for Sigzil. But if I weren't bound, I would vote for Sereni.
I have to go Sigzil with vast apologies to Sereni. Sereni's very cool.
I am very similar. Sereni is, I think, one of the best female characters of Wanda Sanderson's books. I just really like her story, but Sigzil is a bit deeper to my heart. I'm gonna have to choose him.
Yeah, I think Sereni took a rough draw on a fan favorite of this podcast. It's
Yeah.
Sigzil for me, but Sereni, oh, that hurts my heart.
Doesn't matter, but I vote Sereni.
I was gonna say, Alex, do you have any parting words for Sereni?
Tough draw. That's all.
You can't win them all, or
Can't
any
win
of
'em
them.
all.
That was a tough draw. I agree.
All right, we have Nightblood versus Taln. Sorry, Paul. I saw this one and I was like, that's tough.
That is tough. Can I vote for both? Can I give them both one vote?
No, no fence riders on this one. I would vote Taln just because Nightblood's a little obnoxious.
I'm also voting Talon for similar reasons, and I think Talon is the best herald.
Not that Nightblood isn't cool. He just overstays his welcome a little bit. Maybe that's a hot take, but
I don't
Yeah.
know how to rate this on my scale that I was talking about. Sword
That's a great
versus
question.
Sword
no, it's
versus
not.
Herald.
Nightblood would eat Taln in 2 seconds.
Yes, I agree. But like, is Nightblood just lying there? You know, that's I'm thinking a little too like in my head. They're in a room, you know, a room that you cannot escape or whatever, and you have to fight. I'm like, okay, well, you know, it wouldn't work. But if Nightblood's unsheathed, then yeah, he'd probably just insta. I'm gonna vote for Nightblood.
I
I'm just
think no
gonna
matter how you put
stop
it,
talking.
Taln cannot defeat Nightblood. Right?
Except for like walking away from him.
Yeah.
He just
Peace.
can't. Yeah, if he's sheathed, then he kind of can't lose, right? No one's wielding him.
My vote is
2-1 for Taln right now.
My vote is Talm on this. It feels a little rough sending Nightblood out in the first round, but after reading Wind and Truth, Talm, he's got some iconic moments.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
I'm looking at that next round and crying already.
Yeah.
All right, we have Sylphrena versus Dusk. Watch your Dusk spoilers, gentlemen.
I mean, it's easy, Sylphrena.
This is a tough first round for Dusk.
With a few sad glances over there to Dusk, it's definitely Sylphrena.
I know I haven't read, the only one I haven't read is the Isles of the Ember Dark, but of the Arcanum Unbounded, the Six of the Dusk was my absolute favorite. And I loved Dusk. And I just thought that his inner dialogue the whole time, I just thought it was so interesting, and I loved all of it. So for that, I am gonna say Dusk.
Wow.
I'm not gonna get into spoilers, but
Yeah, also I hope he's not a jerk in the Isles of the Ember Dark, because then I feel bad voting for that. But based on what I know,
Yeah.
voting for
Alex
Dusk.
over here with the hot takes voting Dusk.
wow. supporting this maniac.
Can't
over
believe you
here.
go for that guy.
Yeah. So, I can't. Sylphrena would have my vote. However, it's like if I'm picking off of like who I like, it's razor thin now. It's like way, way closer.
Does Sofrena really win in a fight there?
I don't know who wins.
I think they just
I've been trying to.
talk.
I think there's some
Yeah.
flaws
It's a
in my
sharp fight.
system.
I think they just
Um,
hang out.
Believe it or not, I think my system is mildly flawed. So yeah, I don't know exactly how this fight would go. I'm just gonna
Syl's
judge.
spear
Yeah.
will appear above him and fall.
Yeah, I feel like Syl could pull out something tricky.
All right. Sylphrena moves on, unless I'm mistaken. We have Teft versus Wax. I forgot about this one. Oh, I saw this one and I cried. Literally, like I was super upset.
Thank goodness I get a
Well-
freebie to say Wax. Okay, Wax would win this fight.
Both
Next.
both of these guys are like literally top 5 for me. But both of them make top 5 for me. I think I have to say Wax though.
Wow, I would have put money on you going Teft.
Yeah,
I would have too.
no, but Wax is so cool.
You just hate Teft, apparently.
I think I'm going to balance the scales then, because you just went off the trail. I'm gonna go Teft. Actually, I like Wax a lot, but yeah, Teft holds a special place that Wax can't come anywhere near as far as like emotional ties to a character.
For me, we just get so much more time inside his head, so I have to choose Wax.
I'm also
Alex?
choosing Wax.
Okay. Unfortunate for Teft.
That is
Yeah. An honorable first round for Teft. Could have been a lot worse for Teft. He could have gone out to like Xysis or something. All right, we have Tanavast versus Siri. I don't remember Warbreaker, so I'm going Tanavast.
I'll balance you with Siri.
You'll see my Tanavast and raise me Siri.
Yes, yeah. I'll raise you the S tier.
I remember like being pretty disappointed with Tanavast by the end of everything. So
Sure.
I think it's Siri.
I'm also going to say Siri.
Is that 3 series? Yeah.
Mhm.
It is.
Okay. Following my rules, I think I would be voting for Tanavast. But if I were not bound by these rules, I would vote Siri,
Are you regretting these rules?
which is crazy. Yes, I am regretting
I-
these rules for the record.
Well, following your rules, Tanavast might just like sit and stare at a wall for 500 years and not do anything. So
Forget about
That's
it.
fair. I don't
right,
think Siri's not like that powerful.
Right.
Though, right.
I'm so sorry.
Rissyn versus Spook.
This is a good like C tier character matchup here. I do like Rissyn a lot, but Spook is pretty cool by the end of all things. Start of all things, no.
Who?
But yeah, right. But this is Spook for me. He holds a special place.
This is also Spook for me.
Wasing the wear of what? Yeah, it's Spook. Risson's really good though.
That was a good quote, Sam. I agree with Spook.
Mine doesn't matter. I honestly don't know. I was hoping it wouldn't come to me for a tiebreaker because I don't know, because I love the love that Rissyn has for her pet. I respect that. I would do the exact same if travel across the globe to help my dog, but I do think Spook has a cooler story.
Next, we have Yanagon versus Yumi.
Yumi all day.
Yeah,
I agree with Yumi.
I also agree with Yumi.
Yanagon.
Yumi.
I would have liked to vote for Yanagon,
I
but
would have too.
like not in this, like in general. But no, Yumi definitely.
Wait a second, Paul. We've got to go back. You're saying Risen with her Dawn Shard would not be able to defeat Spook?
I think he's diverted from his rule.
Well, I was thinking that Spook would win in a fight. I didn't think about the Dawn Shard.
I'll give you the she
That
doesn't
kinda slipped
have
my
the
details.
power. She doesn't have the power to use her Dawn Shard.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So as stands, I feel like if they were both in a room and had to fight, that Spook would win. I did feel a little bit bad for Risen and with thinking through my criteria, but anyways.
I think Cheery Cheery might have something to say about that, but we should move on.
Cheery Cheery would probably just eat Spook, but we weren't voting on Cheery Cheery. Next, we have Auxiliary versus Charlie.
Charlie.
Oh yeah, it's the dress guy. The dress guy.
That was
I
good.
love that.
That was really good.
That was good.
Mine's clearly Auxiliary.
For those Spotify listeners out there like me, for Charlie, he put a picture of a mouse.
It's technically a rat. It is actually a rat.
It is a rat? Okay.
Yeah.
Even though it,
Yeah.
to my unknowledgeable eyes, it definitely looks like a mouse.
It does.
Within my criteria, I'm voting for Auxiliary. So I think
I
that's
also choose Auxiliary.
I'm conflicted in my thoughts, but I think it's Auxiliary.
Really?
Yeah.
Next, we have Lift versus Vin.
I think Vin is winning this fight.
Tough draw for Lift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I'm
what I was
voting. I'm voting Vin.
I'm voting Vin.
Vin.
I think it's also Vin for me.
That is a tough draw for Lift, by the way.
Hrathen versus Sazed. Speaking of tough draws, I mean,
Oh my goodness,
Hrathen's
I was
not bad.
literally-
Hrathen would beat a few characters on this list, but of all the Mistborn characters, Sazed's my favorite. So
Yeah,
it's
this next
Sazed
round's
for
going to
me.
be brutal, by the way. But
yeah,
I
let's
vote
not think
Sazed.
about the next round real quick. But it's obviously Sazed, right?
Yeah, season.
Yeah, it says it.
Okay. Next, we have Alamancer Jack versus Wayne.
Is this
Crazy.
audiobook Wayne or
Yes,
Elliot's
this is
reading Wayne?
audiobook Wayne.
Audiobook
the best
Wayne.
version of Wayne.
Audiobook Wayne gets my vote. If you're confused what I'm talking about, go listen to our book wrap ups from Mistborn Era 2.
I'm also
Any version of Wayne is better than Alamancer Jack.
Yeah, I'm also voting Wayne. I think this was a crazy random draw to have Wayne versus Alamancer Jack. By the
Yeah.
way,
Yes.
that's kind of comical.
Yeah.
Wayne for me as well. Next, we have Silence Montaigne versus Milan.
I can definitely say Milan.
I would also say Milan. I couldn't tell you more than two things about Silence Montaigne. I have
I
no
could.
strong feelings.
I could. I don't like her.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't my favorite
Yeah.
one. If I'm thinking through that one, it was a little dark for me. So I'll do Milan.
Yep, Milan.
Same.
Ooh, that next round. That next. Okay, we'll get back to that. Miles 100 Lives versus Vasher.
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 This is an easy Vasher for me.
Vasher.
No further discussion. Next, we have Starling.
Starling.
Watch your spoilers. Versus Tress.
Tress. I've been waiting on this one.
This is a headliner match for me coming into the first round. These are two pretty big characters. I do think it is Starling for me. I'm a big fan of Starling. I like her a lot. Tress is super fun. Starling's super cool.
I'm voting Tress.
I'm voting Starling.
2-2 to Paul.
Oh.
Sorry, I shouldn't have made Paul go last.
On any criteria, I
You
would
got-
choose Starling. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
I was gonna say you've got your cop-out answer.
I
that
have to apologize to Alex on that one.
I literally just whispered to him, I said, if Tress doesn't make it, I'm walking out. And he picks Starling.
Ouch.
I mean, I'm not walking out, but
But okay, so Alex, you don't
Yes.
know why they're voting Starling though. So save
Yeah.
your ire.
okay. But I read the prologue before this because Paul said I should read the prologue. And so I read the prologue. And I still think she doesn't hold a candle to Tress.
I agree.
It's tough because I think Tress
agree
is
with you.
Alex's favorite character in the
My
Cosmere.
favorite.
Like the
Besides-
number
She's
one,
The
not
best.
not like top 5, but like
Besides
number
Serini. You said that about Serini.
No? No, I said that about Steris.
Oh, that's right. You did
That's
say that
right.
about
So
Serini.
Steris and Tress and Yumi are my 3 that I was like, those are my easy yeses. Absolutely. Nobody's going to dissuade me on that. And the fact that Tress didn't make it in the first.
We've said this a bunch, but that was a really tough draw for Tress. I do think
It was.
Tress beats 25% of these characters on this board at least, and
Yeah.
Starling. I might be biased because it's recency bias going on here, but you give Starling a chance when you read the book.
To be fair, I was intrigued. I still don't think she holds a candle, but I do give that there's probably cooler things that she has ahead of her. And I'm going to read it, and I'm sure I will love her, but I will not love her as much as Tress.
All right, that concludes our first round. On to the second. Back to the top. Xysis versus Renarin.
Renarin.
I'll throw a hot take and pick Xysis because, I mean, dragons are cool.
Per my criteria, I have to vote for Xysis.
Alex?
I was going to vote for Xysis, but I didn't want it to be the deciding factor. I just thought the dragon was cool.
Did Renarin just lose to Xysis?
I think. Yeah, I
That's
think that's how that
unexpected.
works, right?
Wow.
Final answers?
Yeah. I feel bad.
Wow.
Look, that's an easy round for Kaladin, so there you go.
Well,
All
hold
right.
on.
Next round. Well, yeah, hold on. Genuinely,
Hold
hold on.
on. Put a fight
I
for
did.
this
To be
one.
fair, I didn't see who Kaladin was against.
I knew.
Kaladin
I already
versus
know.
Steris. My default vote is Kaladin, but I will say Steris has a special place in my heart. Not that special, though.
Well, obviously, I say Steris.
I'm voting for Kaladin.
This is Kaladin for me. Steris is great. Kaladin's awesome.
Same.
How good does it feel to move him forward, Trevor? Does that just feel
Wonderful. I mean, this is the bare minimum I assumed he would get to. So
Yeah.
the fact that it's been as close as it has been. Okay, a tricky one. Navani versus Raoden.
I think there's going to be a lot of tough choices at this level of the bracket. And I think I'm going to go Navani. I said this already like 3 times. She's my underrated pick of the Cosmere.
She is a bondsmith, but I think I can vote for Raoden on this, right? Think Raoden's got some. Elantrian power is kind of like crazy and moderately all-encompassing, but also kind of vague to me. But I think I can say Raoden on this. So that's my vote.
I'm gonna say Navani because her book is better.
I don't want to be the deciding factor, but I'm going to say Navani. So I'm going to throw it to Tim.
I also would say Navani.
Okay, moving on. Zeth versus
Zeth.
Demu.
Okay, I take it back. There are some easy ones in
No.
this end of the
We don't
bracket.
need to. Okay. He's gonna lose, but we don't need to smash his name down in the dust as we do it. He can go out honorably. I'm voting
Who is
Demu.
Who is he against in the first round? Demu.
Lopen.
Okay, yeah. He got a lucky first round draw. He's trashed. He's gone. Bye Demu. I vote with Zeth.
We're 1-1 right now.
Zeth.
It's Zeth. Yeah.
Zeth.
Ah, okay.
Good try, Trevor. I valiant attempt. I
Next, Shalon versus Nikoro.
I'm saying Nikoro.
Shalon.
If this was Yumi, I think I would think a lot harder on it, but I think this tips the scales to Shalon.
I would say Nikoro.
All right, be honest with me, guys. Who wins in this fight? Isn't it Shalon?
It's definitely Shalon.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
Shalon.
thinking. I think Shalon wins in this fight. I do agree. I think if this was Yumi instead of Nikoro here, I think I'd vote for Yumi. But in this case, I think I vote for Shalon.
They are going to sit down and have a nice art gallery together, but
That's
yeah.
true. They
Maybe
should collab instead.
They
maybe their
should.
battle is like a drawing thing
Yeah,
instead of like an actual fight.
yeah. An art off.
So you said Shalon, Paul?
Yes. Yeah.
Next we have Marsh versus Yasna. This is a pretty easy Yasna for me, although Marsh has a special place in my heart.
I could have seen Yasna going out early to someone else, but it's not to Marsh for me, so it's Yasna.
Yasna.
I'm Marsh simply because we have a lot of story left with Yasna.
Sure.
I think for the record, I think I'm also Marsh.
On a power scale?
I'm trying to think through it
There's-
honestly.
No,
Okay.
there is no
Yasna.
thinking through that one. Yasna wins, and there's not a debate.
Yasna then. I haven't thought that much about like cross power like magic systems fighting each other.
Sure.
I'm not sure
So-
about that, Trevor, because Marsh has a bunch of power, and that compounding level. Yasna's insanely powerful, but I think you're underrating Marsh.
Am I undervaluing ATM? I might be
I think-
undervaluing ATM.
I think so, and I think it would at least be a good fight, not a landslide. At least somewhat of a good fight, I think.
Ooh. This is a tough one. This is Shy versus Adolin. This is Adolin, but simply because of his page count.
Same for me.
Yeah. I think that's where I land too, is I have spent a lot of time with Adolin, and there's a lot to like, a lot of journey that's been traveled there. Yeah, I really want to vote Shy because I love her book and her arc. As small as it is, it's really cool. But Adolin's Adolin, so
I think I'm voting for Adolin as well.
I am too.
Tough 0-5 matchup for Shy.
Yeah.
There. All right. Dalinar versus Kelsier. This is where we separate the men from the boys.
this is a sellout match right here.
This is absolutely like the stadium is packed. this
Dalinar,
one.
obviously.
It is Dalinar to, I'm sure, no one's surprise. Kelsier's a tough one to wrap my head around what I think about him, but Dalinar's the GOAT, so it's Dalinar.
I agree. It's Dalinar. I think 50% of the people I would choose Kelsier, but Dalinar is just awesome.
I genuinely think Dalinar wins this fight, but I think it would be a crazy fight.
Well, Kelsey's already dead, so no, it wouldn't be.
I literally thought about that. I was like, well, Kelsier did lose a fight, so Dalinar kind of hasn't yet.
I guess Dalinar's also dead.
Yeah, Dalinar's very dead too.
Dalinar's more dead.
Spoilers for all the things.
That's a fair point. Yeah, fair point. I'm assuming both of them as they were alive, perhaps. Well, actually, not the case. I'm just saying Cosmere current-ish. I really don't know who's supposed to win in this fight. I will be completely honest with you. Like magic powers wise, I feel like it's Kelsier, but brute strength wise, I'd say Dalinar.
I'm also saying Dalinar, but just for the record,
Okay,
it's a really tough matchup. Nice.
moving on.
That is.
Elend versus Marcy.
I'm going Elend.
This one's really hard because Elend is my favorite character from Era 1, but I like Era 2 better. So I think for that, I'm going to say Marcy.
Could not agree with what you just said more. Marcy.
I think it's also Marcy for me, just because she was a standout character for me in Era 2. I liked her a lot. Ellen's great too, but Marcy.
I liked Era 1 better initially than Era 2, but Marcy's a good choice.
All right, I've been dreading this one since we drew it up. Sigil versus Talm. I'm going Sigil. Sorry, Talm.
I'm saying Talm.
I'm also saying Talm.
See, this one's interesting to me, like really interesting, because I voted Talm before because of some really just iconic moments. But Sigil has some iconic moments too.
Yep.
And I think is a deeper, more complex, interesting, more page time, more character development kind of character, more interesting for where he's going in the future. I think this is Sigil for me.
Come on, Tim. Come on, Tim.
2-2.
Comes to this. Tom, because I never believed that he gave in.
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
But both hypothetically are very deserving of moving on.
Does auxiliary sacrifice mean nothing to you? That you would let Sigil die here?
We'll get to auxiliary in a minute.
All right. Goodbye, Sigil. Next, we have Sylphrena versus Wax. Two that I hold dear to my heart, but I would vote Wax here.
I'll choose Sylphrena.
I'm also choosing Wax on this one. Even though I do really like Syl.
I'm also choosing Wax.
I feel like he couldn't get two characters that are more different than Wax and Sylphrena
That's
for
very
a lot
true.
of reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know which way I would vote, but thankfully I don't think it matters.
Let me be clear, these two would not get along. Both of these characters would get on each other's nerves real quick. All right, it's Wax. Moving on.
I definitely expected Syl to move further in this, for the record.
Yeah,
So.
I agree. Ciri versus Spook. This is Spook for me, simply because I don't remember Ciri very well.
I'm gonna say Ciri. I liked Ciri.
Another tough one. I'll go with Ciri. I liked her in her book.
And I think it's Spook for me. I'm bringing this one down to how memorable they were. Like Ciri's great, but I don't remember too much about Ciri, whereas there's a few specific things that kind of stood out and stuck with me about Spook.
Do we remember enough about Ciri to know how well she would fare in a fight?
She would lose
how
immediately.
She would lose immediately.
Yeah.
Spook is a Mistborn by the end of his story. Just
That's right. He
clarifying.
is. I keep thinking of just Tenai, and I'm like, Tenai is not the strongest combat one for sure.
Right.
Okay, then I have to go with Spook. I didn't remember how invested Siri was.
Not really.
Yumi versus Auxiliary. This one is an easy Auxiliary for me, simply because Auxiliary is so high up there. Specifically, a different character than 12124. Just stating that.
Still mad about it. All right, I've got to say Yumi.
Yumi.
I'm auxiliary.
2-2 to Elliot.
Oh no, I'm conflicted on this one.
No, you're not.
I am. I like both these stories a lot. Actually, these are really high up there on my tier list. Both Yumi and Sunlit Man. For me, though, it comes down to those key scenes that are inspirational, that you carry with you, that spring to your mind when you're in like a tough moment. And as cool as Yumi is, I think it's Auxiliary.
I knew my brother would come through.
It is.
No, not that I hate Yumi. It sounds like I'm a Yumi hater. I'm absolutely not. But Auxiliary is.
You're a 1-2-1-2-4 lover.
I'm a 1-2-1-2-4 apologist. Yes, Auxiliary literally has top 3 moments in the Cosmere all to himself, and it's as simple as that. Wow.
Oh my god.
Vin versus Sazed.
Well, I think I should lead off, right? Because Sazed wins, right? We're talking.
Let me put it this way: one of these is the Hero of Ages, the other one is not. So I'll just put it that way.
Okay, so I'm gonna lead it off because my choice is made with much less thought. So I'm just gonna get it out of the way. So Sazed.
My vote is made with much more thought, and it's Sazed.
My vote is for Vin.
I'll go ahead and throw out that it's, after a little bit of deliberation, fairly easy for me to pick Sazed. Sazed is my favorite character from Era 1, but Vin's probably 4th. So yeah, it's Sazed, I guess.
That's not the number I thought you were going to say.
Well, I started that sentence thinking I was going to say 2nd, and then I thought of like 2 other characters that are, yeah, it's Sazed.
You thought of Demu and then Demu again. So.
Also Sazed, but
All right. I am really dreading that next matchup. Wayne versus Milan.
Wayne.
Wayne.
Audiobook Wayne, by the way.
Doesn't Milan win in a fight?
Yeah, Milan eats Wayne.
Okay.
Whoa. Wayne saves the world with his crazy powers.
I do think that Wayne has more accolades, if we're talking about that. But I think my vote is supposed to go to Milan. But I really want to vote for Wayne, for the record.
Unless you're counting when he becomes a Mistborn.
At the end of the book.
At the end of the book.
Spoilers. Tim, Milan or Wayne? Did you vote?
Probably Wayne.
Okay. Vasher versus Starling. This is a pretty easy Starling for me.
I would agree.
Vasher has the cool factor going for him, like the street cred, the rough and tumble guy, but I like Starling a lot more.
I like Vasher.
Obviously I don't know Sterling well, but because Vasher is just a bit too much of a grumpy gills for me, I'm gonna go ahead and And also, since Sterling beat out Tress, and I'm a big believer, if somebody beat my favorite team, I'm gonna go vote for the person who beat my favorite team. Still holding out for
Yep.
Tress. I'll go Sterling.
Yeah, if Starling wins it all, then Tress essentially has like second place.
Exactly.
Right. Tress had
Exactly.
the finals in
Ties
the
for
first
second,
round.
yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the top. Zeiss versus Kaladin. Okay, this is an easy Kaladin.
What
win,
is Zeiss
clearly.
doing in this round?
I
Kaladin.
really want to
Zeiss
vote.
is strong.
Zeiss has like 3 chapters total in the entire Cosmere. Just to be clear, 3 chapters ever.
I'd put Frost ahead of Zeiss, and he's not even on this list.
Kaladin.
That's a good point, actually.
I would have voted the same way if Frost was there instead
To
of
be
Zeiss.
clear, he beat Renarin thanks to you guys.
You're welcome. He would
Sorry.
absolutely win in a fight against Renarin, I believe. Would he win in a fight versus Kaladin? I've been thinking about this. Kaladin versus a dragon. I think that's kind of crazy to think about, but Kaladin's like pretty goated, so I think I would actually maybe pick him. If I had to put money on a fight, I think I might actually put it on Kaladin. He's that good.
I'll say Kaladin too.
Kaladin.
Okay. Navani versus Zeth.
Zeth.
This might be where I have to get off the Navani train.
After voting Demu versus Zeth, you're like, I'll call it at Navani.
Well, no, you know what? You convinced me. You're right. Navani.
You're welcome.
I'll say Navani.
I'm going to go. I lost track of where the count was. I think I'm going to stick with Navani. I'm a little torn about that. Zeth is pretty cool by the end. His journey is pretty powerful.
We almost had the Zeth versus Kaladin round. Almost.
We did. We almost did. But Navani is just an unsung hero. Her leadership ability is quite impressive. She's an engineer. Gotta keep my engineer buddies going.
I also choose Navani.
Shallan versus Yasna.
The apprentice meets the master.
Mine is Yasna. I'm not convinced that of my own vote. Mine's Yasna, but I'm willing to be persuaded if someone would like to persuade me.
I think after everything that we've seen with these characters, I think Shallan is winning in a fight.
I think you are drastically misreading Yasna.
I think Yasna is incredibly strong, but Shallan has so many things that she can do that she's not supposed to be able to do as a light weaver. Like so many things.
I'm definitely going Yasna.
Once again, I think this will change as we get into the second half of Stormlight, but I'll choose Shallan.
I'm going to also vote for Shallan for maybe a slightly different reason. I don't know that I like Shallan a lot, but I think that the deciding vote for me comes down to powerful moments. How many powerful story and character moments have they had? And Shallan has some big ones. There are some events in her story that, given what she has been through and what she is able to pull off and influence others and lift herself, her many selves, up by the bootstraps and figure it out, I think it's Shallan.
You also persuaded my vote. It's Shallan. You got a bonus vote there.
Ah,
So Trevor's criteria is whatever we think, apparently.
No, that one was. I said I was willing to be swayed.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm sorry.
Paul, I'm fascinated to hear what you have to say about this one.
Okay.
Adolin versus Dalinar.
I'm glad you pointed this out because I thought about it as soon as Dalinar won, and I was like, oh, next round's going to be Adolin versus Dalinar. I think if they're just having a sword duel. You know,
Uh-huh.
the problem here is Adolin is not invested. He's not a Knight Radiant. I think
Correct.
in a 1v1 contact or combat, like a good old fashioned duel, like they do on Roshar, I think Adolin is winning.
Okay.
And I'm gonna stick with it. I think Adolin wins this.
Okay. So I thought you were going to go back to, but Dalinar is invested, so I have to go Dalinar. And then I was going to counter with, but Dalinar would refuse the fight and surrender. Right? He would not fight his son.
Fair point. You're
Therefore,
right.
you have to go Adolin.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
I'm gonna say Dalinar.
I will also say Dalinar. Adolin's kind of like the football quarterback. He's a little bit of a jock and doesn't jive with me.
This is a battle of heavyweights here, and I don't cast this vote lightly, but it is Dalinar.
It's a hard one. After Wind and Truth, maybe Adolin, but I could go either way.
All right.
That
Over
was
to the
one
other
where I'm
side.
happy with whoever wins, you know.
We're just ending up with Stormlight characters to end that the left side of that bracket. But we'll get
And
back
who's
to that.
surprised?
Maracy versus Talm.
I'm voting Talm.
This is a pretty easy Maracy for me.
See,
I'm
this
just
was
a
supposed to
Tom
be. This was supposed to be a pretty easy Sigil.
Correct. This was supposed to be Maracy Sigil, and this was supposed to be where Maracy was leaving.
And now it's a tough one.
I'm sticking with Tom.
Yeah, but Tim, when's the last time you read Mistborn Era 2?
Hey,
It's been a
hey,
while.
Trevor.
I'm gonna go Maracy on this, which might be surprising because Talon's got the epic moments for sure, but Maracy has a lot of like unsung epic moments. She is the glue holding all of our heroes together through all of what they face in Mistborn Era 2. And just trying to do the best she can throughout all of that. I like Maracy a lot. I think it's Maracy here.
I've been thinking. I had my gut reaction, but I wanted to hear what everybody said, and I am gonna go Maracy.
Let's go. Good Maracy representation on this podcast.
Yep.
But Maracy can't crush skulls with her bare hands, so
She hasn't tried. I'll put it out there that she hasn't tried.
that's a fair point. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Wax versus Spook. This is a pretty easy Wax for me.
Yeah, Wax.
I have to agree with Wax.
Wax.
Spook has had a good run, and rightly so, but I do think this is Wax.
I am happy that Spook made it further than Kelsier, for the record. Tim?
Wax for me as well.
Okay. Auxiliary versus Sazed. Yikes.
Sazed.
This is an easy Sazed for me on all fronts.
Trevor, I'm very curious to hear your vote here.
I haven't decided yet. I don't know. I think I'm going Sazed. I am unfortunately going with Sazed.
Same. Sazed. Auxiliary has a really high, but Sazed just beats him out.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, Tim. high of auxiliary is higher, but the consistency of Sazed is there. Yeah.
That was the conclusion I just came to. Yes.
Sazed.
Wayne versus Starling.
It's a funny matchup.
This is pretty easily Wayne for me.
I'm more interested in the character of Starling than I ever really was in Wayne. He was interesting. He was fun.
But we need to kill Starling here because Alex doesn't know Starling.
Hey, I'm so happy to vote for Starling because she beat Tress. And again, if Starling wins, Tress wins. So
I
I'm happy
understand.
with that.
I understand. Here, hold on.
Yeah, just put them together.
Yeah.
There we go.
Team blonde-haired heroines.
Yeah.
My vote is for Starling. I think she's winning in this fight.
I'm not quite sure what to do with this. I have such mixed feelings on Wayne, which is making it very hard for me to decide how to vote on him because he annoyed the heck out of me for 3 books. And then I happened to stumble across the audiobook and it changed everything that I thought about Wayne. And then he has like a really cool ending, you know, it's all that.
Maybe
He's
the
like-
coolest ending of any Cosmere character.
Yeah, I mean, arguably, potentially, yeah.
It's
And
cool.
Starling, like, we've just gotten to know Starling. We don't quite know where she's going. I really wish we had another book worth of Starling to compare against, but I really liked her. Oh, I think it's Starling for me. But it's really close. That's a hard one.
Unfortunate. I didn't miscount there, right? Starling went up. Starling moved on.
Correct.
All right, back to the top. We are in the quarterfinals. No, semifinals. No, quarterfinals. Quarterfinals. Kaladin versus Navani. So long, Navani.
Kaladin's winning that fight.
Kaladin.
I'm still gonna say Navani.
I'm gonna vote Navani.
No, you're not.
I
Get
am.
off. Go away.
Kaladin is like Kaladin's big. He's got so many cool moments, but I'm really trying to convince some people to get on the Navani train here. She is just as cool as
She's so-
our
Your
top
Navani
characters.
propaganda stops here.
No, look, I would rather hang out with Navani than I would with Kaladin.
No,
That's
Navani's
fine.
gonna like lecture you about how like bad your
No.
posture is or whatever.
But yeah, what Kaladin are gonna talk about?
Kaladin's gonna like
The weather.
listen to sad, depressing
The
music
weather.
with you and vibe.
No, Navani and I are gonna have deep intellectual conversations, and I'm gonna learn a lot more from her.
Yeah,
What's our vote at? 2-2.
Yep.
2-2. So it comes to this.
Tim,
I gotta choose my boy Kaladin.
thank you. Of course. Wasn't
Fair enough.
concerned for a second. Okay. Marcy versus Wax.
He was a little concerned. He definitely thought Kaladin might go out there.
Marcy versus Wax. Unfortunately, this is where Marcy bows out and it's Wax.
I would agree. I'm Wax as well.
I'm also Wax.
Wax.
I'm gonna go Marcy. Not that it matters.
I am quite happy that Wax has made it this far. I was not confident that he would.
His half the
Shalon-
bracket was way easier.
Shalon, yeah, he has easy seed. All right, Shalon versus Dalinar. This is a pretty easy Dalinar for me.
Yeah, Dalinar for me as well.
Dalinar.
Again, similar to before, I don't cast this vote lightly because Shalon does have so many of those moments I talked about. But Dalinar has just as many of those moments that are just so cool and they make you think and they inspire you. It's Dalinar.
Yeah, I also think I'm voting. Yeah, I'm voting for Dalinar here.
Okay. Sazed versus Starling Tress.
Again, I'm gonna go ahead and say Starling Tress because I'm sticking to my guns on trying to get Tress up there somehow. But I know this is a lost cause, I'm sure.
This is an easy Sazed. Like
Yeah.
this is one of the easiest Sazed rounds I've had so far.
I think this hold on. Who has Sazed beaten so far? Auxiliary.
Sazed has beaten Auxiliary, Vin,
Vin.
and Hrathen.
Okay, so Vin Sazed was kind of hard.
Uh-huh.
Other than that, they were easy votes for me. I am voting for Sazed here, but I think this is my hardest vote. Okay. Actually, Vin and Sazed is really hard, but this is second to that.
I think Sazed beats Starling for the exact same reason he beats Auxiliary. He's just got more to go off of. You know him more. You know what he's capable of. You love what he accomplished and why he did it. Starling, we just don't know enough about yet.
I agree.
All right. Kaladin versus Wax.
Kaladin.
This might be an embarrassing showing for Wax. Kaladin.
Kaladin.
Navani.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Wax, but doesn't matter. But I would have said Wax.
To the surprise of no one, Kaladin is a finalist. Dalinar versus Sazed. As a top four, I'm very happy with these.
I think Wax had an easy bracket, but on this, I think I'm voting for Sazed out of the gate.
I think I'm voting for Dalinar because I have to. Yeah.
This is Dalinar for me. I mean, he's my favorite character of all the things, and Sazed I'm glad to see up there. But for all the reasons I would vote for Sazed, I would vote for Dalinar more. There's
Right.
more character depth there. There's more depth of meaning in the decisions that he's made. He can do just super cool things. He is wrestled with the gods. I'd say that it is a god, I guess, arguably, but it's Dalinar.
Dalinar.
Tim.
Same for me, Dalinar.
All right. The age-old question: Who's the better Stormlight character, Kaladin or Dalinar?
I'll go ahead and lead off and say Dalinar.
Kaladin just always has a special place in my heart. I will choose Kaladin.
This is extremely difficult because there's a lot of different ways to think about it. And while Dalinar is my favorite, I'm still strongly tempted to vote for Kaladin just because it did feel like Dalinar's story hit a bit of a halt in Wind and Truth. That while Dalinar had probably his biggest moment at the end of Wind and Truth, he didn't really grow or go anywhere over the course of Wind and Truth. Whereas I feel like Kaladin is always one you have your eye on. Where is he going? What is he doing next? What struggle is he facing next? What oath is he on? What lesson is he trying to learn? Even in book 5, where he's trying to awkwardly become a therapist, you're still like just so very invested in his story of, is he going to pull this off? Is he going to turn Zeth around? Is he going to figure this out? So Kaladin is just Kaladin has a character that sucks you in. Like you can't help root for Kaladin, even if you don't quite like him. Even if he rubs you the wrong way or he's too doom and gloomy, like he just pulls you along with him. I don't even know who to vote for here. I think Dalinar takes it just so slightly. It is almost Kaladin, but I think my vote goes to Dalinar.
Oh,
Are you wanting to save the last vote for yourself, Trevor? Is that what's going on here?
well, no, I'll go. Because if I go, the contest ends.
Hmm.
I'm voting for Dalinar, actually,
Okay.
because he did make the correct decision at the end of Wind and Truth, even though I doubted that he would. And Brandon Sanderson delivered that he stayed true to who he was on the face of the entire world ending, and Dalinar made the correct decision.
I was here to break my streak. For the record, I think Kaladin would probably win in a fight here. However, I couldn't. I think I would also have voted for Dalinar. I was gonna close it as well. That yeah, I think he's just too good. There's too many great moments with Dalinar. He's too much of a good leader and example to follow as we read the books, and so I for the finals I couldn't vote Dalinar over Kaladin, even though I love Kaladin, of course.
And Dalinar takes it. My small, very blurry image of Dalinar.
Yeah, check that out.
All right, there you go. Thank you, guys. Any tragedies in round one that we want to mourn over again?
Tress.
Well, yes,
Definitely
of course.
Tress.
No, Tress made it to the quarters. She's okay.
Okay, you're right. She
She got carried.
Yeah.
We got drafted over into.
I think Vivenna losing out in the first round was sad.
Vivenna is
one.
unfortunate. Rock was unfortunate.
Hmm.
Dusk, I think, is pretty unfortunate. as well.
Dusk.
10
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah, 10 soon.
Moash. We're all mourning Moash down there in the first round, right?
Yeah, true.
Yep.
Nope.
Me for real.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me, everyone. And I appreciate you all coming on for this extended episode. Sorry it went so long. See you guys next week with more bonus content. I'm not sure what it's going to be.
See you next time.
Toodles.
See you around.